And Michigan State head coach Danton Cole now joins us. Coach, you and I last spoke the day after you were introduced as Michigan State's head coach. What's life been like since that day?
Well, it's been exciting. There's, anytime you jump into a new role, there's a lot of things going on, and getting to know the campus and the staff and the personnel and just how things work, let alone trying to get to know the players. And I only had, about 3 weeks before they took off for the summer. So it was quick, and then we did have the summer to, kind of get our bearings and get things going, get my staff in place. So it's been exciting. It's been a lot of fun, and glad the guys are back on campus.
Dan, just 17 wins over the past 2 seasons for the guys that have been here over the last couple of years. How do you change that mindset? How do you convince this team that consistently they can do what they've done in flashes over the past couple of years and make more consistent performances like the win over North Dakota?
Well, I think any time in athletics, I've been around it obviously as a player and a coach for an awful long time now. I think you have to get to the process and what you're going through and keep getting a little bit better every day. And if you start saying, well, hey, the last 2 years we won this many games and we're going to try and do this year, I think it gets away from what you're really trying to do. So we've kind of implemented that culturally wise, that we're just going to keep putting things together and keep getting a little better and understanding what guys have to do. So I think that's a good way to get by. And then, confidence comes from competence. We've got to learn how to do certain things. We've got to have certain automatics, certain concepts and habits have to come through before the results will be there. But I think if we do that, if we keep doing the right things and working hard together, the results will follow.
It's a remarkably young roster by my count, just 6 upperclassmen as you get ready to start the season. What kind of challenges does that provide, and what kind of opportunities does it also offer?
Well, they're, certainly, look at it as an opportunity situation. We're going to have a lot of young guys in a lot of situations. When I was at UAH, we went through this in the first year. Guys are going to get put in situations that, maybe they're not ready for or not comfortable for. But, that's up to us to prepare them, make sure that they realize that that they're always learning something other, whether it's learning how to win or getting a good lesson. So that'll help us, I think, down the road. There'll be a little bit of pain as we're going through it, but I look at everything as a positive. We'll grow together, we'll learn together, and these guys down the road, I think it'll pay dividends for us.
Very large freshman class did come in last year, and several of those guys were big-time contributors, whether you're talking about Boutros Ghafari, Patrick Kodorenko, Sam Saliba, a lot of guys who got a lot of time as freshmen, more so than most freshmen do. What can that sophomore class do for your team? What do they have to do for your team this year?
Well, start off down the middle, and with Mason Appleton signing, would have been a junior returner and probably played center most of the year. Sam Saliba and Patrick Kodorenko are going to have to log a lot of ice, and thank goodness they did last year, and they were put in a lot of situations. So, they're young. Patrick just turned 18; he was draft eligible this year, and Sam is just a sophomore as well. So they're going to be put in that. They're going to be put in leadership roles. Ice time follows that, and we're going to have to get a lot of good ice out of them, as well as a lot of the other guys. Just the young players, they were thrown into that last year. Our young guys this year are going to be following the same suit. So like I said, it'll pay dividends eventually. The staff's going to have to be patient. The guys are going to have to be patient. But the one thing that can't get away is the work ethic and the attitude. And we'll be doing our best to keep both of those up. And like I said, whether it pays dividends the first half of the year, the second half of the year, or next year, at some point, if you do the right things, it will.
Dan, you have 8 games against teams that are ranked in the preseason top 10 before the first 2 months of the season are done. Is it fair to say that by the time December 3rd rolls around, you'll have a handle on what this team can handle?
Well, yeah, we'll have a good idea how they react to some pretty good competition. And I think, going forward, I think that's going to be the norm with the Big Ten. And you look, especially with Notre Dame coming in now, you look at the talent and the depth of this conference, and that's what it's going to be. I think you're going to see 3 or 4. It could be 5 teams in the top 10 quite often with the Big Ten Conference. So, we've got to get used to it. We'll find out a lot about our team. And, one thing over the last 7 years with the NTDP I've learned is that, no matter how the weekend goes, it's up to the coaches to get the guys in the right frame of mind to work on Monday. And you got to forget a little bit about the weekend before, and you got to remember a little bit, and you need to learn a lot, and then move on. And that's what it'll be. And hopefully we'll put ourselves in a position where, hey, we start taking some of those games. And certainly last year they had some good series against some top teams and did well. And we just hope to do that a little more consistently.
Lastly, Danton, you won the Big Ten Medal of Honor during your time at Michigan State, one of only 9 hockey players in school history to be able to say that. What does that mean to you even to this day, and what kind of example do you hope it shows to your players?
Well, at the end of the day, I think that any good program, and this is something we'll talk about on with our guys, especially with our staff and recruiting, and I think that things have to be character based, and I think at the end of the day, it's a leadership driven program that we want to have, and we want our guys to come out that way. And we talk about them having a lot of pride about what they do on ice. That's real easy, but make sure that there's a balance in their life. The educational aspect for most of these guys is going to be very, very important for them for the rest of their lives, and it's essential. So having both sides of that, I think, is an outstanding thing. And at least I can say that I've walked the walk when I talk about things like that. But it's something that we're going to enforce and not just encourage, but expect out of our student athletes. And I think sets them up, like I said, character-wise, leadership-wise, for the rest of their lives.
Danton Cole getting ready for season number 1 as the head man at Michigan State. Coach, truly appreciate the time. Best of luck this year. I'm sure we'll talk plenty.
All right. Thanks a lot.